If you're not getting the connections that you want online, it's all about the first impression, and that's on you. I guarantee it. I'm just going to come right out and say it today on 8-Second Rule. Hey, I'm Mark, the bull riding copywriter, the bull rider of copywriters, maybe I should say. I am not a bull rider, but I can make copy that will keep people interested for more than 8 seconds, which is how long it takes a cowboy to stay on top of a bull and score. So here on the 8-Second Rule, we talk all about the attention-based marketing and the attention-based economy and how you can gain and keep people's attention. One factor in that is going to be making those connections, the initial connection. If you can't make connections, it's difficult to build an audience. So we're going to discuss that today. We're going to go over some reasons why this can happen. We're going to talk about what you can do, how you can basically go through and assess your own setup, make sure that you've got it right to work towards having the best first impression so that you can get those connections you want. All right? That's all today on 8-Second Rule. You've heard it said before that there are no second chances at a first impression. Well, this can be true. However, people do tend to forget you if you're not memorable, so they may not realize that it's not their first impression. And maybe again, I should redefine that and say that the first impression is the first time that you actually register on someone's radar, when they actually notice you. That's the first impression. So it may not necessarily be the first time you meet them. It may not necessarily be the first thing you say to them. But online, you won't get a second chance for a first impression. And here's why. Okay, I want you to imagine a little scenario with me. All right. I think that we're sadly lacking in imagination these days, and so I try to engage mine as often as possible. I want you to imagine that you woke up this morning and there were 100 new connection requests in your social media notifications. And maybe this has happened to you before. It happens to me sometimes when I'm really pumping my social media hard. There's 100 people banging on the door to get in. They all want to connect to me. Hi guys, this is Mark Morris, the copy bull rider from 8 Seconds Rule. And I just want to start off by telling you about Anchor, Anchor.fm. I found this site a couple of years ago, and it is the simplest and easiest way to start a podcast that I know of today. You can do it straight from your smartphone. You don't need anything but their app. It's free. They have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast. You can even add music, add buffers, all of those things right here on the site. It doesn't cost anything to host it. You can start as many as you want. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it's heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, many more, and you make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. So how am I going to manage this? How do I decide which ones are going to get in and which ones aren't? Am I just going to wholesale just let them all in? Sometimes I will. But what criteria do you use? I bet one thing you're not going to do is go down that list and explore every single profile. So which ones do you instantly ignore? Do you just discount? There's going to be some protocol in your mind that you are using in order to determine who you're going to take a friend request from, who you're going to take a connection request from. So what is it? I know I've got mine. I want you to think about yours for a minute. So I'm going to start with the LinkedIn profile because that's a lot of what I talk about here. And I think that most of the principles that I discuss based around that are pretty similar on other social media platforms. For me personally, when I get a connection request on LinkedIn, there's going to be two basic things that I'm going to look at first. All right. First is, does it have a sales message attached? If you have direct messaged me from somewhere to request an opportunity to meet with me about pretty much anything, and it doesn't say we'd like to hire you, if you are trying to sell me something without starting a conversation and I have no prior knowledge to you, this is an unsolicited sales pitch, I'm probably not going to connect with you. Now, that doesn't mean I'll jump right out and block you right off the bat. So you can come back in 6 days and you can try again. But if that's how you're going to approach it, more than likely, I won't accept your connection request. Why? I just find it annoying. And Basically, the people who do it fall into three major categories right now. In the end of 2020 here, it's 12/5/2020. You're going to find the LinkedIn lead generation, quote unquote, experts. You're going to find the financial expert guys, and you're going to find insurance people. And they're all going to want to get you on the phone and try to hard sell you on whatever it is that they've got going on. Either that, or they're going to just, soft pitch you a slow ball and say, hey, I'm in insurance and you need to recommend me to all your friends. Yeah, right. Like I've got 16,000 connections and not one single insurance agent among them that I trust. I mean, I'm almost 50. Surely I've got insurance for something, right? But I'm going to take your word for it that you're a great guy and that you have everything going for you. And I'm definitely going to put my great-grandmother on the phone with you tomorrow. No, I'm not. I'm not even going to take your connection request. Goodbye. So what's the other one? The other one for me is if it has no picture, if you're a blue head, if you're just a blue conversation dot on your LinkedIn profile. If you haven't even bothered to upload a photo yet, I probably won't connect to you. Now, it's possible that you may say something really smart in a comment somewhere, and I might even send you a connection request. But if you sent one to me and you haven't put a message with it that makes me curious enough to take a look, it's not going to happen. It's going to be a no. So what about beyond that? Just that initial visual inspection of, is there a message here? Is it a sales pitch? Is it an actual invite to a conversation? What is it that they want? And the fact that they have a picture or not. I'm going to read that headline. Okay. I'm going to read the description that the person has for themselves, or if it's on another social media profile, it's going to be that the moniker, the handle, the Twitter handle that they have for themselves, or the name that they've put on their Facebook profile, or whatever it might be, their screen name. All right. And I'm going to take a look at that. And if it seems interesting, then I might look further, or I might just accept it. But listen, if your headline is boring or generic, and I feel bad saying this, just another writer, yawn. I'm sorry, but there's so many of us, especially here in 2020, everybody wants to be a writer. And listen, you're just not my ideal customer. You're not going to hire me to write a book for you. So, I might help you out. In fact, I do some coaching and stuff, but the thing is, I'm looking out for me too. So if I don't see anything unique about that, if you don't seem to be connected to other people that I want to get in touch with, or have something unique that you write, I may not connect with you just because of that. And the same thing might be true for you. Now, some people tend to stick within their industry and they want to build their network inside their industry. That's probably because they are not offering services directly to the LinkedIn public, like I am, like many of you who are solopreneurs are. Okay. So what about beyond that? Just that initial visual inspection of, is there a message here? Is it a sales pitch? Is it an actual invite to a conversation? What is it that they want? And the fact that they have a picture or not. I'm going to read that headline. Okay. I'm going to read the description that the person has for themselves, or if it's on another social media profile, it's going to be that the moniker, the handle, the Twitter handle that they have for themselves, or the name that they've put on their Facebook profile, or whatever it might be, their screen name. All right. And I'm going to take a look at that. And if it seems interesting, then I might look further, or I might just accept it. But listen, if your headline is boring or generic, and I feel bad saying this, just another writer, yawn. I'm sorry, but there's so many of us, especially here in 2020, everybody wants to be a writer. And listen, you're just not my ideal customer. You're not going to hire me to write a book for you. So, I might help you out. In fact, I do some coaching and stuff. But the thing is, I'm looking out for me too. So if I don't see anything unique about that, if you don't seem to be connected to other people that I want to get in touch with, or have something unique that you write, I may not connect with you just because of that. And the same thing might be true for you. Now, some people tend to stick within their industry and they want to build their network inside their industry. That's probably because they are not offering services directly to the LinkedIn public, like I am, like many of you who are solopreneurs are. Okay. That's fine. But here's the thing. If you don't have something intriguing about your profile past that photo, past the, initial connection, I'm probably not going to give you any more than 8 seconds. I probably won't click in. I probably won't read your about. I probably won't look at your profile. I may or may not accept your connection request, but I'm just going to shuffle you off into the ether. And then if you rise to the top by connecting and actually saying something to me, then I'll take the time to actually investigate. I don't know if everybody's like that or not. That's just me, okay? But I'm not going to give them more than 8 seconds, if that. It's probably more like 3, that initial assessment of, do I want this person in my network or not? So which ones get more than 8 seconds? Do you just connect, or do you explore that profile a bit first? I want you to really think this through. I want you to think about what you actually do when you get a connection request. All right. I want you to get that in your head, and I want you to just kind of feel it out. Be honest with yourself. How much time do you give them? What are you looking for? What are your criteria? Okay. Now that you've thought that process through, and we, just revealed this to you through this little exercise, this little imagination thing of the 100 connections, and you have to sort through them, how you did it. Now, I want you to think about your own profile for a minute. I want you to get a picture of what image you've got on there, if you even know. I want you to think about what your headline says. I want to think about your about section. I want to think about the way that you approach connections. Do you say anything? Do you not? I typically don't send any messages. I don't know if that helps me or hurts me. I get a lot of connections, but I'm not going to try to coerce someone into connecting with me. They can either find out that they like me and they want to do that, or they cannot. And I think a lot of people actually do. If I send a connection invite, I will see people will come and look at my profile, and it'll stay pending for a little bit, and then they'll make up their mind. That's perfect for me. They are qualifying themselves to be in my circle or not. And that's great, because then I don't have to deal with people who are not at all a fit for me. Okay? And not everyone wants to operate that way. Some people want to appeal to everybody. Me, I'm looking for a very specific type of customer. And if you follow me long enough, you'll know what that is. So once you've got your own process in mind, though, I want you to take your own profile, and I want you to pretend that you've just received a connection request from yourself. Yeah, I know that's weird, right? Hi, how's it going? Oh, I'm doing okay. It's the me, myself, and I game right here, okay? So you're sending yourself a connection request, and here is the $64 question. Would you connect with you? Would you? Now, I want you just yes or no. Don't try to sugarcoat this. Don't try to qualify it. I'm going to go into that a little bit more detail here in a second, but just yes or no. What's your gut reaction? Would you connect, or would you ignore? Why or why not? What is it that you're seeing? What is it that you're thinking about in your profile or in your connection style that would keep you from connecting with you? Listen, if you don't connect to people who send you DM sales pitches without ever having had a conversation, then why are you doing it to other people? Okay, this is a basic thing of humanity. It's not just Christians believe in the golden rule, do unto others as you should have them do unto you. It's everyone. Okay, this is in the major philosophies of the world, that you treat people the way you want to be treated. So I want you to take a look at it. If you wouldn't connect to you, why are you acting that way? Just think about it for a minute. The other thing I want you to do is be completely honest about this. Be drop dead honest. It does you no good to lie to yourself in this situation. I don't want to, none of you should be out there saying, well, it's not that bad. I mean, I'm not a rock star, but it's not that bad. I don't want you to start comparing down. Don't lower the bar for yourself that you wouldn't lower the bar for someone else who just randomly tried to connect to you. So you shouldn't be sitting there saying, I mean, at least I don't suck as much as that guy. I mean, is that really how you want to judge what people see of you? If you're trying to sell to them, if you're trying to get a job from them, if you're trying to partner with them, if you're trying to get a promotion, if you're trying to be seen as an expert, whatever it is you're trying to do, is that any way to do it on social media where everything is transparent? They can see you. They can see you. All right. They can see every post you make, every comment you make. They can see all of it. So It does you no good to lie and feel like, well, I'm not that bad. No, you either would connect to yourself or you wouldn't. All right. It's not about judging yourself. I'm not trying to make you have a come to Jesus moment here and beat yourself up over it. But listen, if you've just said, no, I would not connect with me, I would not. Doing things the way I do them now, if I sent that connection to myself, I would reject it. I want you to turn off this podcast and go fix it. I'm serious. You don't even need to listen to the rest of this episode. You've understood everything I'm trying to communicate here. Go take care of it. Don't wait. You'll get busy. And then a month from now, you'll come back and you'll realize you didn't finish this episode, or someone will bring it up and you'll have wasted all of those potential connections that happened between right now, this moment, and whenever you finally remember to do it. And then you might postpone it again. So do it now. Seriously, hang up and go do it. You don't need to listen to me. I'm just here rattling on and on anyway. So why does any of this matter? Why do I care? Well, listen, I don't know your kids. I don't know your wife. I don't know you. I don't know who you take care of. I don't know what your life is. But I do know one thing. I don't like watching people suffer needlessly. Okay? And that's why I say things. That's why I tell people what I think. That's why I share what I've managed to learn on my own. So why does it matter? Listen, that person that didn't connect with you could have been your next customer. Okay? Well, that could be a recruiter offering you your dream job. And here's a good question. Here's another way that you can filter this. Would you hire you from your profile? If you sent you a connection request, or you were the recruiter sending yourself a connection request and you got the information back, would you hire you from what you find there? Would you get invited to apply even if they read it? If the answer is no, get off this podcast and fix that mess right now. No excuses. Listen, if you know your social media is a hot mess, spend 10 minutes to scour it down, man. Take a hose to it, a fresh coat of paint, whatever it is you need. And if you need professional help and you can afford it, DM me. If you need professional help and you can't, DM me anyway. I'll give you a few pointers on what you can do with your profile. That's okay. We're here to help each other, right? And then the next time that you see somebody who needs a book written, you tell them that Mark sent you, okay? And that you should go talk to me. So now we've discussed this, okay? You've looked at how you judge profiles. Now, you might want to think about it. Are you filtering the right way? Because you could be missing some good people that way. Do you want to take more time? How intentional were you in sending those requests? How intentional are you in your connections and the way that you communicate? Those people might be more valuable than you think. So that's one part of it. I'm sure I missed some good connections by just saying, by having a one strike rule on the sales pitch thing. Now, it depends on how you word your sales pitch. If you are honestly saying, listen, I know this is sleazy, but I'm just putting this out there. If you're not interested, it's cool. I still want to connect. That's great. Sometimes I'll even send back a reply and say, look, I don't need your service. I'm just going to be upfront with you. I'm not going to schedule that meeting with you. But if you still want to be connected on social media, that's cool. We can do this on LinkedIn. I would love to have you follow me. I'd love to see your stuff. Okay. And a lot of people will answer back and go, thank you for being so honest. Some of them will immediately withdraw their connection request because all they wanted, and you find this out, they're freaking jerks. All they wanted was a chance to get me on the phone and corner me into a sale, and they just disappear. But that's the trash taking itself out, right? Hell yeah. So I don't care about that. But some of them will be like, oh yeah, that's cool, because there's a lot more we can gain from each other than exchanging money, right? But it's those random moments, the ones that you really cannot prepare for in advance in any specific way, that change your life. All right, it's the bizarre, seemingly random happenings. It's not the things we planned for. Look, you told everyone you're going to that conference last year, and you told them that it changed your life. You spent a bunch of time saving up the money. You put it on your calendar. You got the time off from work, or maybe your boss paid for it and went with you. But that was last year. Now I want to ask you a question. What did that keynote speaker, the one who got you so excited, say? You took 2 pages of notes. Do you remember any of it? You might. But here, you probably don't, but you know what you do remember? The connections that you made. The connections that stuck with you, that have been maybe doing business with you throughout the last year. Okay. So that inspirational stuff, that stuff that we plan for, that stuff that we build in, it often doesn't do a lot to change us. Okay. We read a book and we forget what we came to, what we came to learn. We were like, oh yeah, we're all excited about it for a week. You'll see somebody on social media posting about how their whole life has changed. My mindset as of 3 days ago is completely different. Talk to me in 2 weeks. Talk to me in 6 months. Talk to me in a year. We'll see, right? Because generally it's relationships that change people, and it's hard work over a lengthier period of time. It's pure gut determination. It's finding a process that allows you to move through that into a new way of thinking, into a new way of doing things. But these random happenings of meeting people can totally change our lives. They could offer you a job. They could offer you a contract. They might be the connection you need to break into whatever it is. Okay? So let's talk about what that all means. All right. You know that you want to make a good first impression. You know that you want to get this the way it's supposed to be. How much time does it really take to fix this? How much is it worth to you? It could be worth thousands of dollars instantly and hundreds of thousands of dollars over a lifetime if people start connecting to you. And if they don't, then you'll never know. See, this is the preparation that you can make for those unexpected connections. You can be ready by having something that they can look at and go, oh, yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about. Oh, yeah, this lady, she's really good at what she does. I can see that. It's here. Okay. Take the time. Do this for you. Do this for your family. Do this for your company. Do this for your future self. Do me a favor. Stop suffering needlessly and fix it. Okay. Listen, I try to tell you about a trick or a tool at the end of every episode. And today I'm going to talk to you about how you can use Mixkit, Mixkit, to get some free music and put it over into your Anchor podcast stuff. Here's how it works. You're going to download some songs from Mixkit. You're going to upload them into your Google Docs drive, and you're going to build a folder there called podcast music or whatever you want to call it. Now, on the smartphone app for Anchor.fm, when you go to add background music into any recorded segment, at the top on the right, there is a little button that says import. And this will allow you to bring in your own music and set it up. Okay, so you're going to go there. It's going to give you the option to go to Google Drive. You're going to find your folder. You're going to download those songs. They're going to go into a custom folder where you can now create your own background music without having to use the ones that Anchor.fm offers you. All right, that's it for today for 8-Second Rule, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this 5th episode. Thanks for listening. Please tell your friends. I'd love for you to leave me a message sometime. Let me know how you think the podcast is going. If you have any questions, please find a way to contact me. Mark R. Morris 2, the number 2 at gmail.com. Find me on LinkedIn. Find me on Twitter. Find me on Facebook. Anywhere at all. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Welcome to 8-Second Rule, the podcast about attention-based marketing that helps you find your audience, reach your audience, get their attention, keep their attention, and build on it. You've got 8 seconds. What are you going to do with it?